Okay, hello everybody. Today's date is August 27th, 2017, and my name is Leslie Williams. I live in La Jolla, California, which is located in San Diego County, and this is literally just going to be an extremely fast video. So I'm not going to get into a lot of detailed statements pertaining to the crimes that are occurring towards me and have, because every time I make a video and have to discuss this, I end up having to also explain sub-details, because those sub-details have details that support the details, and then it can turn into a long video. So, if you want to find out what is currently and has gone on towards me, and still is, pertaining to me being a gang stalking victim, target, and activist, you can go into this account and look at the videos. 99.8% of all videos are about me being gang stalked. Okay, and the crime, and this crime. So that way, I do not have to detail the motive of why I'm making this video. Okay, so when you look at the other videos, you'll understand why I'm making the statements in this particular one. Now, 2 days ago, I went to Walmart and picked up 3 items that I ordered. Initially, I got contacted from Walmart stating that only 2 items had come in, and one of the items had a due date to where they needed to be picked up on Friday. When I came and picked them up, Walmart employees told me that the 3rd item was actually in the same box with the 2nd item, and that it was not scanned. Therefore, that's the reason why they did not send me an email notifying me that all 3 items came in. And the reason why I'm stating that is because I did make a video a couple days ago, I think it was on Thursday and Friday morning, pertaining to how I'm gang stalked at that Walmart, and have been on every occasion, and was on Friday, and that I would probably be having to go back to Walmart to pick up the 3rd item. But once I got there, they told me that the 3rd item was incorporated within the box, that the 2nd item was in, and that it just wasn't scanned. It was overlooked. So I ended up picking up 3 items, the 3 items that I ordered. And while I was there, I also did some additional shopping, and I brought this new backpack here. And you would not believe the monies that I have had to spend on camping gear, backpacks included, absolutely, since I've been in San Diego on August 8, 2011, in order to utilize these support materials to assist me in sustaining myself, and for support material for sustainment, and obviously to utilize these things that I buy in order to utilize them for daily needs. So, one of the reasons why I'm bringing up this fact that I bought this new backpack, and it's going to be what's in this backpack is going to be transferred over into this one. And then what I'm going to do after I do that is, as long as I remember to, is I'm going to be making a video about how my legal pocket knives are going to be put on the new backpack in the same way that they are on the current one. And let me just show you that real fast, just in case I forget and or don't have time to make that video. Now, I don't know how well you can see this. It doesn't appear that the light, it's a gloomy day out in San Diego today, so it doesn't appear that the light is doing me justice in reference to what I'm attempting to show you. But this is a pocket knife right here, but you can see that it's got tape around it. Now, the clip that is on the back of the pocket knife, okay, is clipped onto this little itty-bitty, these strands that are on the backpack itself. The clip goes in it and through it, and then the bottom of the clip is taped, okay, so that the knife cannot be pulled up. You can see that it's being stopped. You'll understand why I'm telling you this in a minute. So you can see that there's no way that I can instantly grab this off my backpack, because the knife is literally, the tape is literally covering the bottom of the clip. Okay, and the thing that it's attached to is in the middle, towards the top and middle of the clip. You'll understand why I'm showing you this in a second, okay? So you can see that this cannot be pulled out. Okay, it cannot be. You can see I'm yanking on it right now, and it cannot be pulled out because of the tape that's on it, that's wrapped around the bottom of the clip. Now, there's another additional pocket knife, okay, that I have right here. Okay, I don't know how you can see this because it's really gloomy out today. Okay, this is a legal camping pocket knife. and it's attached on the strap of my backpack, okay? And within this little Velcro thing that holds it in place on the strap, and then it's completely taped, as you can see, with electrical tape to where it can't even be grabbed a hold of. So I can't pull it out in case somebody tries to jump me. But you're going to understand why I'm showing you this in a minute. As soon as I get done showing you it, you'll completely understand. It can't be pulled out from the bottom either, at all. It would literally take an act of God for me to be able to pull this out, especially immediately if somebody tries to jump me. Now, let me reorientate myself, and then I'll explain to you why I'm making this video and why I showed you that. Well, you'll understand why I showed you this concerning the legal pocket knives that are attached to my backpack. It's a direct result of me being a target, victim, and activist concerning the continued criminal expeditions of what is known as gang stalking, and it's not stalking by gangs. Gang stalking crimes will attempt to, hold on. What I described to you is all over the internet, and the terms that I use to describe what I'm describing can be Googled in reference to, like staged events are called street theaters. That can be Googled. Staged events, when they stage events, they will also stage the witnesses. And staged events are designed to bring about a result and effects from the results against gang stalking victims. Now, when you look at how gang stalking, a massive aspect of the community-based harassment, which is a section of the gang stalking crimes that are brought about against the target, are designed for victimization, traumatization, re-victimization, re-traumatization, non-stop daily harassment that is perpetrated around the target and or brought about directly towards the target every day, everywhere they go, usually through sensitization techniques that can be extensively Googled and researched as well on YouTube. Now, one of the main reasons why a target, one of many of the main reasons why a target individual is constantly bombarded every day with sensitization tactics being employed around them, concerning them, and or directly towards them, is by and through two, but not limited to, provoking the target to act out, verbally and or physically. So then the target's response to these events, can then be monopolized on by them. They will also stage numerous assaults periodically over time in order to put the target in and keep the target in a non-stop hyper-vigilant physiological and mental response, meaning that the target always has to be concerned every day about what might be brought about towards them, against them, and or their property, because the continued gang stalking that occurs every day is attached to the 6-7 prior assaults that were periodically brought about against the target. And then when the everyday harassment, which is designed to remind you you're a victim of the crime, the target is then constantly having to be at least subconsciously and unconsciously hypervigilant, and even consciously, absolutely, about what might be brought about towards them on a daily basis. When you're a stalking victim, that in itself, whether it's by somebody you know or somebody who's become infatuated with you, you are automatically, once you become aware that you're just a regular stalking victim, once you become aware that you're being stalked, that induces fear in the human psychology, the thinking and emotional responses. But when you're a victim of gang stalking, this crime intentionally wants you to know that you're being gang stalked. This fact is exposed by tens of thousands of victims all over the internet, exposing the aspects of this criminal reality. So, because they want the results from the harassment, they want the results from the state events, which can encompass rapes, robberies, assaults, while the target is kept in the non-stop, continued daily harassment, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. You better research gang stalking. And it's not stalking by gangs. Now, so the reason I showed you, I'll explain some more details here in a second. So the reason why I showed you that my two pocket knives that are attached to the current backpack will be, incorporated within the same way on the new backpack that I bought from Walmart, that I picked up from Walmart 2 days ago. And the reason why they're taped to my backpack in this way is because gang stalking perpetrators, when they stage specific events that have absolute intentional motives for the event, some of these staged events are designed to provoke you to act out and even to accuse you of doing things that you haven't done as a result of the initial initiation of the event, the midst of the event, and the end of the event. Because remember, when they stage events, they also stage the witnesses. Okay, so I don't. They will prop up people like I'm a 5'5" tall woman. I weigh about 129 pounds. Sometimes my weight goes down just a teeny bit because it all depends on if I don't feel good. I experience a lot of migraines. And so sometimes my daily diet does not encompass 2 meals a day. It might just encompass 1 meal a day, and then some snacks. So I fluctuate between 129 pounds and 119 pounds. So they know they're dealing with a small framed woman, okay, who they have isolated, who they have made homeless, meaning that when you're homeless, you don't have a front door in your house or your apartment to protect you anymore, and they know it. And when you go to YouTube and type in gang stalking bullying on steroids and when you then go back to YouTube and type in stalking San Antonio, you'll see 3 victims, 2 of them women, 2 women that were raped in their own homes because of gang stalking, and an individual in Santa Cruz, California, which is the county that's right next to San Diego County. All 3 victims clearly showing that they're being stalked at their own homes and along the route. So when you criminal expeditions of gang stalking, you'll clearly be able to deduce through your research and the information extracted from it. You'll clearly be able to deduce that this is organized crime in the system that's perpetrating these criminal realities, that the police are absolutely and completely involved in it and the protection of it. Okay, including their participation pertaining to any staged event. Okay, but the point being, you will literally witness, okay, by what I've stated in this video and through your research, that if they'll gang stalk you to your home, which they obviously are doing to a target, if they make the target homeless from this home, like apartments and so on, you'll immediately deduce that if they'll gang stalk a victim along all their routes every day and to their homes, they honestly think that they're not gang stalking the victim to the woods. Of course they are. So when they know that they're dealing with an individual that they've made homeless, that individual no longer having a front door to protect them from anybody approaching them, then they obviously can deduce that this individual is easily physically accessible. Okay. Now, they're dealing with a 5'5", 129-pound, small-framed woman. So they know that all they got to do in order to excite psychological intimidation, mental and physiological hypervigilance, instinctual fear, is to prop up individuals who are bigger than the target, whether it be a female punk, okay, or a social deviant, or a criminal, or a punk male who's bigger, okay, or even one who's the same size who is told to act hyper and and crazy, whatever. And this is done because a huge aspect of gang stalking depends on what they prop up for you to see and or hear, your perceptions. You see somebody approaching your area, okay, they're dressed in ways that, suggest, well, they're homeless. A lot of homeless people are broke, okay. You don't know what this person might be involved in, who they might be connected to. This is just general people, not even necessarily gang stalking, okay. But when you look at how the gang stalking victim is intentionally made aware during these past 6 assaults, that these past 6 assaults, each one of them were staged assaults, okay, at wooded, some of them being at wooded areas, and some in the and at least one other one was directly connected to individuals who were seen talking to individuals who had harassed them at wooded areas. We can easily deduce that what they're depending on is stimulated memories, form the associations to specific types of people: punks, people who are acting like punks, criminals, okay, social deviants, homeless people that look and act in certain ways, okay. And then they know that the target has even become sensitive to the outwardly descriptions of how homeless people can look. Believe it, trust me, I know what I'm talking about. I've extensively researched this crime for over a decade online, cross-referenced and folded onto the experience. So I know exactly what I'm talking about, literally. Okay, because they will not only sensitize you to sounds, physical gestures, words, phrases, colors, but they will also sensitize you to specific types of people in reference to their appearance. And this is done so they can form negative mental associations to these type of people that fit these types of descriptions pertaining to their appearances. Homeless people, who are carrying backpacks, duffel bags, who dress in certain ways, okay, because they want you to, whenever you see a homeless person out and about in the community, whether they're being used or not, they want you to, they know once you see them that you will become instinctively aware to watch to see if anything will occur, because they want you to be nonstop hypervigilant about what may happen to you, concerning you, about you, around you, towards you, or against you, and or your property. These are literally the psychological mechanics of gang stalking criminal expeditions. Okay, because this crime feeds on fear, psychological intimidation. It feeds on all negative brain stage and emotional responses: anxiety, depression, anger, hate, resentment, fear, because they know that these are the only types of emotional responses and brain states that are allowed for the target to experience based on the nonstop, repetitive victimizations and traumatizations that they intentionally let the target know creatively are directly connected to the gang stalking crimes that are happening to them. Now, recently, just in the past 3 days, I've listened to 2 online conference calls, which are YouTube videos where it's hosted by an individual by the name of Ella. You can Google that, like go to Google and type in Ella, then press the spacebar button on your keyboard. Ella space gang stalking space YouTube. You'll find her YouTube channel. Extensively research all her, as many of her YouTube videos as you can, and you will clearly be able to hear targeted individuals state that gang stalking is designed in order to intentionally, with complete mental support thought and intentional criminal intent, to intentionally create post-traumatic stress in the victims. Okay, and you'll hear numerous targets of this crime that call in and talk to Ella. You'll clearly be able to hear them state that that one of the main motivations of this crime is to induce negative responses, psychological fear, psychological intimidation. You'll clearly hear them talk about being tracked to their own homes and harassed along the routes. Okay, and remember what I said, when you're just an average general victim of stalking, that's not connected to gang stalking, that crime right there in itself, the psychological mechanics and the psychological effects of it produce fear, including instinctual fear. Well, gang stalking, a huge aspect of this crime, is based on a template of intentional psychological operations, meaning that a huge aspect of this crime, when they developed it, they literally sat down, like picture 10 people at a conference table in a big room, and they all got pieces of paper in front of them with a pen, and they sit back and they say, okay, well, this is the result we want to bring about in the target's mind. This is the result that we want to bring about for the target to act out verbally or physically. How can we do this? We can do this by and through, but not limited to, taking a general psychological profile pertaining to how every human being will react in certain specific threatening situations. Then what they'll do is take a psychological profile of that specific target, pertaining to how they think, what type of person they are, how they might respond in situations, and they glean this information by and through infiltrating their life without the open gang stalking starting yet, and extracting information from them as a result of fostered friendships that are fake fostered friendships, and then through conversations that they will have with the target over time, intentional conversations that they will have. They will bring up certain topics, certain subjects, and then see how the target responds to it based on how they personally think, and then they will catalog that information. Okay, and they will do this about anything and everything: how the target thinks morally, how they think spiritually, how they think in reference to how they behave as a female, how they behave as a male. Okay, and you name it. They'll take a complete profile of the target concerning finances, social, family relationships, friendships, the culture of a target, everything, and they'll take that information and say, well, we know all about this target. We know how we can provoke this target to act out based on their belief systems, their moral codes, everything. And then they develop a terror campaign around the target because they know what can easily excite a target through that specific person and the general psychology of all human beings. Okay. And so what I'm explaining to you are just some of the mechanics, tools of gang stalking tradecraft, meaning that how they operate. So when we come to realize through either and or experience and educated knowledge pertaining to these absolutely criminally insane, demented animals that perpetrate these criminal realities, what we can then do, okay, is deconstruct how they think, deconstruct how they operate, so we can then make informed decisions about what to do and what not to do. If they're attempting to put a target, like let's say in a group home for legal probate control, so federal and state funds can be applied for in their name, they got to have a normal legal appearing reason to do this. What are some of the normal legal appearing reasons that they would utilize? That the courts would use to petition the state to make the target award the state to put them in the syndicated run organized crime group home that is absolutely 100% completely owned and run by organized crime that is directly connected to the gang stalking. Well, some of the three main legal appearing excuses that they would use for this, are that the target cannot take care of themselves and have a long chronic history of homelessness, even though they're the ones who create the homelessness and covertly keep it sustained. Which I talked about in other videos. The second excuse would be that this person is a threat to themselves or others. The third excuse may be that the target is mentally ill because they believe they're being stalked by people they don't know. Now, this is where the police will come into play at in reference to the police and even social services, will come into play at in reference to any documentations that they falsify as a result of staged events. And they can also dupe the target when the target first becomes a target of this crime, start employing techniques to bait the target to mentally break down. And I've already made videos about that, so I'm not going to get into that because this video has already turned out to be a long video, and that was not the intent of making this video. But let me just give you a really fast description about why targets are being made homeless and then subject to this wide open physical gang stalking along the routes. It's done to bait them to act out. Because when the human brain is subject to non-stop hostile environments everywhere they go, every day, when they're constantly intentionally made to be reminded that they're a crime victim, especially concerning the actual crime that's happening to them, they're constantly being poked every day, non-stop, mental ping pong. They relax for a little while, somebody goes by and says, gang stalk, suck my dick. Just hear me out. I strongly suggest that you look at the video that's right below this one in this Periscope account. As I was making the video, a woman went by and said, oh my God, and gang stalk. And then later on in the video, as I was talking, it was said as well. Now, usually when I make a Periscope video, the actual video itself is saved into my application called Gallery, which would then enable me to also upload that video to YouTube. Well, that particular video magically did not get saved to my gallery. Ain't that nice? Now, if you can't hear it in the Periscope video, do not believe for 1 second that these wild, filthy, criminally insane, maggot-ass animal whores who are perpetrating this crime don't think that they cannot go into any application and edit any specific thing that is in the video and take it out pertaining to evidence, because I've seen it exposed by hundreds of other targets pertaining to evidence they've uploaded to YouTube and other social media platforms that they have caught as gang stalking is being perpetrated towards them physically. I've literally seen the YouTube comments, I've seen the descriptions and the verbal descriptions and additional YouTube videos that they made on later dates pertaining to how their evidence videos were edited, and how evidence has been stolen out of their email accounts of audio and video evidence as well. So if you don't hear it, all I know is this. When it was said, it wasn't just picked up in the Periscope video, it was also picked up in this tape recorder. But if I get arrested, it can easily be deleted, and then they can attempt to use this video against me. Now you might think to yourself, this sounds all bizarre, this sounds crazy, this sounds like a lot of work. You got to understand, these syndicate members that do these things, this is literally their job. Just like when you go to work today at a steel plant or a McDonald's or an office job, you go to work and you get a paycheck from what you do 40 hours a week. The syndicate that's perpetrating these criminal realities, the members within them, this is literally their job. So anything that they can do to make a target individual appear crazy, because remember what I said, in order to get syndicated probate control, you have to, even attempt to use the target against themselves. They know that the target's making a video online because through cyber surveillance they can see it. Google that to gang stalking. in real time cyber surveillance. They can see a target's making a video. They prop up the harassment around the target so it's actually caught on the video. They believe that that will excite the target to even make additional statements within that video about what was just caught, and then maybe even make statements in another video about it, and then go back and edit and take out that evidence. So any resulting videos or any statements that were made in real time as the video was being made, what it was actually caught in, they could say, well, we don't hear it. What are you, crazy? I've already seen falsified police reports from SDPD concerning me exposing to them concerning the gang stalking of me. Indisputable in-your-face evidence. So you can go to my blog, which is attached to my Twitter account, which is at HIGGINSGGGG. Okay, Exposing Truth is the name of the Twitter account. The blog is attached to the profile of that account. There's massive amounts of indisputable, in-your-face, indisputable evidence of me being gang stalked. Okay, and what's in that blog is nothing compared to what I'm carrying on my person. Now, so if I wanted to make a video showing about how my pocket knives are attached to my duffel bag because they have already attempted to try and falsely accuse me of doing things that I have never done. Absolutely. Now, in closing, when a target of gang stalking, illegal probate control is only one of hundreds and hundreds of one gang stalking victim free rings, prostitution rings, illegal probate control, okay, massive amounts of insurance fraud. So once they get the illegal probate control, syndicated judges, syndicated prosecutors' office members, syndicated cops, and the cops are some of the main players in this shit, make no mistake about it, absolutely. So are social services workers, and these filthy maggots can also get a hold of any and all intentionally falsified medical and or mental diagnoses and information through Social Security, because it's an organized crime syndicate nationwide that is up and operating in the federal government, working and colluding as a partnership relationship with state, local, and city municipalities. But it's also corporations and organized crime. It's a syndicate. It's like an octopus with 8 legs. Each one plays their role, but at the end of the day, it's one head syndicate controlling everybody. And everybody they use, including the places, the employment descriptions, are just the tentacles of this octopus. Okay, absolutely, it's all over the internet. Okay, so when a person who's been made ward of the state for illegal probate control, it's done for, but not limited to, applying for federal and state funds in the target name. It's done to apply for federal and state funds in the target's name. It's also done to co-opt their existing finances they have. It's also done to apply for and or take over their current insurance. The gang stalking then continues in these homes. The target is intentionally falsely accused of things, also prompted to intentionally act out based on the continued harassment and staged events and schemes brought about against the target in the home. And then they blame the target for the response, or accuse the target of having a response. Okay, they lie about all the behaviors they perpetrate against the target. And then they say, well, you got to go into a psychiatric ward because you're still out of control. This is done for massive insurance fraud and the continued falsified diagnoses of the target in order to make it appear that the insurance was built for normal apparent excuses and reasons, and that the false mental diagnosis is still ongoing. So they can make it appear legally on paper that the continued probate control is being justified. The target is also raped in these homes, and the videotapes are raped and sold to pornography groups. The target is also subjected to non-consensual human experimentation in the home and in the hospitals. All this can be Googled to gang stalking. So I made this video in order to inform, to expose the truth. One of the legal appearing reasons that they use to gain this illegal probate control is by trying to claim that the target is a threat to themselves and or others. Okay, they have to stage an event to make the target feel like they have to physically defend themselves. That's one of the reasons why I position myself into wooded areas that are very close to a road, making it harder for them to be able to come into without me immediately being able to see them, hopefully giving me time to either leave the property or turn on my phone, get out my video camera, make sure that my tape recorder is still recording, and to use my whistle so I can bring immediate attention to the area as a result of innocent bystanders that might be in the area. I also pick these avenues because of the simple fact that if anything directly physically comes up on me really fast, which they have done in the past, meaning that they literally will charge you, okay, it should give me the opportunity to bring attention not only to the neighbors that are somewhat close by, but also to blow my whistle and to even run out onto the road. Okay, it also makes it harder for them to conceal their identities once they leave the area. Okay, because since it's so close to a road, if I decide to run behind them, I should be able to get a video picture of them or try and flag somebody down. If you're in a more isolated wooded area, they can easily use the landscape to hide as they incrementally attempt to leave the property. They can easily use the landscape to hide behind so they can incrementally approach me. And so once they get up on you, they can charge you. And this is literally what they do. This is the depth and scope of gang stalking. Because the goal in gang stalking is to incrementally implement their techniques and tactics towards you in order to continue to benefit from the results and the effects of the results pertaining to each event. They're breaking your life down is what they're doing. Okay? And they will target my finances soon. I have no doubt about that at all. Okay? It's easier to human traffic somebody who has nothing. Absolutely. Absolutely. Fellow American citizens, if you've never heard of this crime before, I'm aware that what you probably might be thinking, that this sounds bizarre, that this sounds like a lot to go through just to get a hold of somebody. Understand, these criminally insane, demented animals are making millions of dollars just off of the research that is taken from the target, from the non-consensual human experimentation, because each aspect of what is taken from the target neurologically, physiologically, okay, and biologically is sold to multiple research groups. Massive amounts of money. Massive. Google that. Okay. You can also go to YouTube and type in Timothy W. Bioethics Issues. There's hundreds of videos showing gang stalking victims testifying before the Presidential Bioethics Commission back in 2009, 10, and 11. So you can see that that's a factual reality. They have even been sued because they didn't do nothing to help one gang stalking victim. Literally, the lawsuits are online. You also got to understand that they're making millions of dollars off the insurance fraud, because once the gang stalking victim is put in illegal probate control, the crime can continue for decades. Now they're also making insurance fraud money off the target even before the target they place the probate control of the target, because the crime itself, assaults, staged vehicle accidents, including running over a target with a car while the target's walking down the street or on the bike. Okay, assaults they can make money off of. Absolutely, make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. Absolutely, because at the end of the day, it is all about money. The protection of what they do against the target, everything that they do against the target, they point the finger and make it appear that it's the target's fault, because they got to defend what they're doing. And when you're using supposedly legal appearing avenues to perpetrate a crime against the target and to perpetrate techniques that bring about negative effects that are then monopolized on, you got to make it appear that it's happening through normal appearing reasons, excuses, or mishaps. Illegal GPS tracking and covert physical surveillance is the stalking of gang stalking. The gang of gang stalking is where they will gang up on you in order to bring about the results and the effects from the results. Do you understand? So it's imperative for you to be able to see that if anybody approaches me, there is no way that I could grab these pocket knives off my backpack in order to instantly utilize them. Okay? Because since I know that that's one of their goals. Okay, so the best thing to do is just try and bring attention to the area, which is something that they will even stage in order to bring attention to the area. So staged witnesses can call the police, so they can give you a ticket for illegal lodging, trespass, and encroachment. Now, staged events are called street theaters and gang stalking crimes. I strongly suggest that you research this extensively and think and use common sense when you're deliberating my descriptions and researching them, that they're not creating the homelessness for no reason. Do you really think that they're going to go through everything that they got to go through to create the homelessness of a gang stalking victim, by and through, but not limited to, working in covert partnerships with landlords and property owners, stealing the target's rent out of the mail, mail that's mailed, certified mail return receipt. Google the post office and gang stalking, mail theft, and mail layman as well. They're not going to go through everything that they're going through to create the homelessness of the target and then just walk away and say, okay, well, we did it. Everything's okay now. We're going away. No, the creation of the homelessness was done for a motive. So the effects and the results from the homelessness can then be monopolized on. It's a step of multiple steps. And the last step is the step they want to take the target to for the exploitation. It's organized crime schemes. Is what I'm exposing to you right now. So I strongly suggest that you research my videos dedicated to this Periscope account. Look at the video that's right below this one, because Periscope videos are stacked in a column pertaining to the profile of your Periscope account. Look at the video that's right below this one. Literally listen for individuals in the background. Closely listen with headphones on. Anybody saying, oh my God, and then gang stalk. And then later on in the video, as I'm talking, it's literally also said as well. Listen closely, and you will see truth. Now then, when you go to my blog, you'll see hundreds of videos of it being caught, clearly, openly caught, including being said by San Diego prosecutors and public defenders. So go to that blog, and your mind will be blown. I've been on national radio shows exposing what's happening to me on multiple occasions. I'm a nationwide known targeted individual. I'm not just some idiot. I'm not just some person that's in the woods making a video talking to you. I'm a nationally known target, so I strongly suggest you research what I've stated. Now, some of those national radio show links that I've been on national radio shows that I've been on, their links are incorporated within my blog. You'll clearly see them being introduced so you know what to listen for pertaining to what I'm exposing in them. I strongly suggest you stay with this account and you will see truth. My name is Leslie Williams. I make this video. I make these videos to inform, to expose the truth, so the truth can be known for what it is. Go to my blog. Now, after I get done doing some of the things that I got to do today, I'm then going to make another video, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the YouTube videos that I'm seeing from the Ella channel. Now, I contacted her through email. She responded back once. I responded to that reply, and then have not got a reply to that reply as of last night, which I've noticed in my email account. So we'll see what's going on there. I'm trying to get out of the isolation right now that this gang stalking crime put me in. Isolation is one of the main motivations of this crime that can be Googled, and you'll see how it's brought about and the reasons why. I literally got to go, because if I keep on talking, I'll never get this video concluded. So stay with this account, look at my videos within it, and you will see truth. Thank you for listening, everybody, and I will make a video later. Have a great day.